We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now, our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World and a Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And this is going to be a very interesting episode of Beyond the Ropes. This is episode 161. This is our season 7 finale, and boy, are we done with the season. I think we're all done with it. We're tired.
We're coming in hot. I've aged a few years. NXT's in a new generation, and you got CM Punk, and then you got Daniel Bryan and versus Omega, and yeah, stuff's happening.
More importantly, we are still acknowledging Roman Reigns as our tribal chief. James, you have anything to say about that?
Brock Lesnar is going to run him in the ground at Crown Jewel.
How dare you? You disgust me. This is just going to be a rough episode today, as you can tell.
You're welcome.
This weekend is Extreme Rules. We'll give our predictions on social media. Speaking of social media, you can find me. I don't know where Rob went, but you can find me on Twitter at Ethan1985. You can follow James on Twitter at
JHW Reporter.
And you can find Rob on Twitter at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget the R-Truth DMs for Ethan.
Still failing to capture that 24/7 championship. But yes, this weekend is Extreme Rules. Like I said, you can find us on social media at Real BTR Radio. I believe I should be able to be watching live, so I'll be live tweeting from that account. That's right, sir. I'll be live tweeting from that account. And then, of course, we'll give our predictions on social media. Of course, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. And, of course, YouTube, just search up Beyond the Ropes, and you'll find, as of today, 160 episodes uploaded there. And as I mentioned, this is our Season 7 finale, as next week's recording, episode 162, will be Season 8 premiere, which will feature the Extreme Rules post-show discussion, as well as our predictions for a draft, or who we want to see drafted to Raw and SmackDown. 10 Raw superstars we think should be drafted to SmackDown, 10 SmackDown superstars who we think should be drafted to Raw, and 5 NXT superstars who should be drafted to either brand. We'll have that discussion as well next week.
You put Rick Steiner's son, whatever, Bronson Reed. What is his name?
Braun Breaker, sir.
Braun Breaker. You put him in the main event of Raw. You let him bump the ratings up. And who needs Monday Night Football?
No, you already got the ratings draw. The tribal chief, Roman Reigns, went on over to Monday Night Raw. And not only did he appear, he defeated 2 of your favorites. That's right, in one night. Sir, did you not hear the news? We're gonna have our little Raw breakdown right now. Just a matter of minutes here. That's right. We're gonna talk plenty about our head of the table.
Wasn't that a tag team match?
Oh, we'll discuss it, sir. We'll discuss it, because it was more than just a tag team match here. But yes, this weekend at Extreme Rules, it will be the Universal Champion Roman Reigns defending against the Demon Finn Balor, which should be interesting. We'll also see Alexa Bliss taking on Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch, Big Time Bex, defends against Bianca Belair. And then we'll also see the United States Championship match, which has now been turned into a triple threat between Damian Priest, Sheamus, and Jeff Hardy. That should be interesting. Should be a fun match. And we'll see what else they throw at us at Extreme Rules. So far, no stipulations. So
no Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules?
No, apparently not. So
Yikes.
Yeah. So,
go ahead.
Want to get into our Raw breakdown, sir? Show kicked off kicked off with the new WWE champion, Big E, and the New Day. They came out together for the first time in a while. Big E had a very lengthy introduction, as he normally does. He mentioned he was a new WWE champion. He thanked a few people, including one person who's no longer with us, Big Brody Lee. Was not by name, but he did mention a friend up above, and obviously, pretty obvious he had a close connection, as did many of the superstars with Brody Lee. So it was a nice, touching moment there.
I don't know why they wouldn't have let him say his name. Could have said his name.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, I guess you really can't say Brody Lee, and then you don't call him Luke Harper. So I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think people understood he was referencing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then he was interrupted by our tribal chief and the bloodline.
Look, listen. Can we get this straight the last time?
What
is your tribal chief?
I don't think you're gonna be saying that for very long, sir.
Why?
I think you'll see why. I'll explain to you why a little bit later on. But anyways, because Raw was being bogged down by the previous WWE champion Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns and the Bloodline had to be sent over to SmackDown to help bring up the ratings and give a 6-man tag team match, the Bloodline versus the New Day, to kick off Monday Night Raw. Because Roman Reigns, when you need help to bring up some ratings, you send in the tribal chief. Okay. It was a really good match between all 6 competitors. Obviously, the New Day and the Usos having history over the last decade, basically carrying the tag team division.
Being the tag team division.
The number of tag teams we've seen come and go over the last decade, and those teams have been the 2 constants. And we got to see that rivalry renewed, as well as Big E kind of moving up in that heavyweight division, meaning face-to-face with Roman Reigns. And then we got to see the former WWE champion Bobby Lashley interfere, taking out basically everyone, leading to Roman Reigns hitting a spear on Xavier Woods to get the victory. Roman Reigns defeating the New Day there. And then that terrible Bobby Lashley had to hit a spear when Roman wasn't looking. They took him out then and there too. And it was officially announced. A triple threat match in the main event. WWE Champion Big E versus Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. A monster main event that you would normally see on a pay-per-view happening on Monday Night Raw. I will say this is probably the best Raw of the year. I think it was a solid start from beginning to end. Everything felt like it mattered on the show. Every match kind of went smooth. Nothing overstayed its welcome, and we got to see a lot of good storytelling from beginning to end. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Roman Reigns was there.
I think it's interesting though that he was there. I'm surprised Fox would allow that. Because now what is Fox going to get in return? If a guy is supposed to be an exclusive to SmackDown, and I hate when that it gets closer to the draft and they start loosening up on the restrictions and stuff. Let him he needs to just be exclusive to SmackDown. If I'm Fox, I'm mad about that because now you have a guy who's bumping ratings on a whole nother channel. And if there's a rivalry there between the channels, that's not something I would just forgive. So maybe we see something back on SmackDown in return. We'll see, but I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well,
I get it. You're trying to build up. You're trying to build up Big E and stuff, and give him a little push after winning the title there. But I don't know.
There was a report, I guess, over the weekend that essentially over the last week, really, essentially both networks were really wanting big moments. If you're going to have a moment on Fox, you have it on USA as well. So if you see something happen on one show, something big is going to happen on the other show. So bringing in main event talent over to get some of those matches out kind of makes sense. So obviously you had the Madison Square Garden show recently with SmackDown on Fox. You had Brock up there, and Brock show up, and the Demon, Finn Balor was there, and Cena was there after the show. But essentially, Raw need to get some of that too. So you send Roman over, and I believe SmackDown was doing a tour. We're in the UK. They had a show in London.
Tour already? Wow.
Yeah, they were touring. It was a short tour. I think they're over already. I think they're back over here. So, yeah, you send over Roman Reigns over here, and he puts on the show for Monday Night Raw. So, moving on to the next segment here. Let's see. So this isn't in order, but we did get, of course, the rematch of the century that everyone's been wanting to see. Doudrop versus Eva Marie. I mean, it seems like people are getting into Doudrop. Still don't care for me.
It's probably just more hatred towards Eva Marie more than anything else.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, they could really drop the Doudrop name. Just call her by her real name. But
I wonder where they got Doudrop from. Like, where is it?
I don't know where it came from.
There's probably some stupid story behind it, I'm sure. We'll call her Doudrop.
Anyway, she got the quick victory over Eva Marie. Not looking good for Eva Marie over here. I don't know what they're doing with her.
I mean, I never knew what they did when they signed her. Like,
5-star match, Eva Marie over here is just not getting done.
Okay, buddy. I don't think she's had.
I don't know. I feel like your segments get more higher ratings than Omega Daniel Bryan. I don't know.
Ooh, is that true?
I don't know. I mean, it could be.
I was there.
All right. Then we had something interesting here between Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. We finally got to see them collide in a one-on-one match. Obviously, they've been a tag team for a little over a year, at least. We talked about it. They were two-time WWE Tag Team Champions, and they finally imploded. This week they had their match. It was very brief, but I liked what they did with it. Essentially, early on, Nia Jax kind of asserted her dominance, kind of talking trash, kind of using her weight advantage and her size advantage over Baszler. But very quickly, Baszler using, the quick strikes and the knees to kind of take down Jax and then put her in the sleeper hold, and made her pass out. Made her, I believe, to pass out or tap out. I forget which one it was. I think it was pass out. But essentially, after hitting that therapeutic clutch, she attacked Jax after the match in a pretty brutal assault, taking out her arm. Did kind of that arm thing she does where she steps on the elbow on the steel stairs. Yeah. Doesn't look pretty. Yeah, and then she put Jax's hand in between the steps and crushed it. And all you hear is Nia Jax begging her to stop, and then you hear her screams, and it's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable when you actually watch it. But it made you see Shayna have a little bit of remorse, but kind of get over it. So we're getting to see the Shayna Baszler of old, I guess, here.
She said, she tweeted out, she said she wants those handcuffs off. She feels like she's been kind of limited or handcuffed to Nia Jax. And maybe that was a storyline tweet. Maybe it wasn't. But she's kind of ready to move on from Nia Jax, either storyline and maybe just for a shoot.
As reported on The Bump earlier today as we're recording, Nia Jax will be out indefinitely. So we'll see what happens there. But See if she's legitimately hurt or if she's getting maybe rebranded or what. Maybe we'll see
Maybe a
them.
break.
They'll probably get separated in the brand split, I'm sure, unless they want to continue the storyline. But I don't know if they want to do
Please
that.
don't.
No, you don't want to see this continue. We didn't get
No,
we didn't get to see a proper match, sir.
it makes me sleepy.
Makes you, sir. You just say you pulled an all-nighter. You're sleepy all the time.
Yeah, no. I just think it's. I don't know. All this stuff, the draft stuff makes everything weird. It makes everything weird, and it's not really a draft. It's almost like they're just trading people because they're not gonna. When a pick comes up, it's just gonna be somebody from Raw or NXT. I mean, I don't know.
Well, everyone's getting drafted.
I want them to redo the whole roster.
No, that's what they're doing. It's a whole thing, sir. They're doing
They do like 10 pick. I mean, redoing the whole roster just means moving 10 people on each side nowadays. So it doesn't really matter. But
I mean, yeah, they let go a lot of people.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's no depth. There's just like
there's depth.
Whoever
they're building some characters. We saw some new talent over on NXT, and then
on NXT,
even on Raw. Even on Raw, we got a new tag team. We'll talk about it right now, which is about time they do that. We're gonna move on to that actually. I'm talking about the team of Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, real life cousins who started out feuding with each other.
Yep.
Have been kind of essentially non-factors on Monday Night Raw for several months now. And now it seems that they're officially a tag team, and they look great in the ring. They took on your favorite, Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. Mansoor's bringing down Ali, sir. Just been on a losing streak. He's been on a losing streak.
Well, I mean, when you just throw him in a match, you don't give him no warm-up matches. You just throw him in and
They've been teaming for like 3 months.
He's not warmed up.
I don't know, but
chemistry.
I'll tell you what. I think he's going to win his match at Crown Jewel.
Well, yeah. I mean,
the king of Crown Jewel.
Well, has he won all of his matches at Crown Jewel before? I don't know. I mean, it's not like he's undefeated, right? I feel like he probably lost the first one.
No, I feel like he won one.
I think he did get like a big upset, though, no? I think it was like a fatal, like a 4-way 8-man tag or something.
Probably. So, anyways, we'll talk more about the king of Crown Jewel after the break, but when we return, we'll continue talking about Monday Night Raw and what's coming up at Extreme Rules right here on Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 80.1 FM KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 161 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst, James Williams, and producer, Rob Flores. This is our season 7 finale here. We're talking about Monday Night Raw. We're talking about the new tag team of Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo defeating Mustafa Ali and, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name, Mansoor, your favorite wrestler, Mansoor.
Bad. The disrespect is real. Number 1 draft pick. Watch it. I'm telling you now.
On 205 Live, maybe.
Imagine the live. We did get a new cruiserweight champion. We might talk about that a little bit later.
We're going to talk about all that, the legendary group, perhaps the best group in wrestling today, aside from the Bloodline. We'll talk about it right now. We'll get to NXT in a bit. But finishing up with that, it looks like Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, who I liked, and finally I'm glad they're doing something with them. They're in a tag team. They have great chemistry. Obviously, real life cousins, family have great chemistry. So looking forward to what they do in the future. And then moving on, we had another tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley took on Tamina and Natalia. I'm sure you love this, James. Your girl Tamina dropped the ball. Your girl Natalia dropped the ball. She got rolled up, and Nikki ASH picked up that victory.
She's probably grabbing the tights. She's a cheater.
I don't think so. She's a real life superhero. So superheroes don't do that. But
she's a cheater.
The dream team of Tamina and Natalia failed to retain those titles, and we got to see new tag team champions.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's time for something new. I'm not really sure where they're going with this. Nikki ASH and Ripley. It's not doing
It's the
anything.
odd couple tag team. They're kind of they're doing it with Riddle and Orton, and it's just
I guess. I mean, maybe they're going to the well too many times, though. I mean, it was cool when it was Bryan and Kane, and now.
I mean, if people like it, it works. People really like the RK Bro. We'll get into that right now, but they like the odd couple tag teams.
That's true.
So, we got new women's tag team champions. There's that, and then we get into Randy Orton versus AJ Styles here. With Riddle in this corner, Orton's really getting into the RK Bro stuff. Doing the poses together, and everything. So it's really cool. Of course, AJ Styles and Randy Orton have had several matches one-on-one before, and they didn't disappoint here. Randy Orton picking up that victory with the RKO. I believe these guys are going to face off for the tag team championships. I would assume at Extreme Rules. That hasn't been officially announced, so it could happen on a Monday Night Raw at this rate because they're kind of throwing these matches on regular TV now. So we'll see what happens. But we did get the triple threat main event between our tribal chief Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley, and Big E. And what a match it was. Big man slapping meat, as Big E says it.
What?
That's what it says. I'll send you the video. It's from his podcast. But of course, our tribal chief picked up the victory here, defeating the current and former WWE champion in one match. He showed up to Monday Night Raw, won a 6-man tag, won a triple threat, and then left. He's not even from Raw, and he's from SmackDown. He showed up on the other show.
He's a cheater.
Dominated. He didn't cheat. He won fair and square.
He cheated. He's not on the wrong show.
He was invited. He was booked, sir. It's not like he just showed up out of the blue. They said, Roman, we need some ratings. We need some views. Big E is not going to do it.
He just got the title.
They're not going to do it.
MVP's hurt. MVP had to get surgery. So, of course, Bobby Lashley's not looking great right now.
He wasn't looking great before, but even worse now, MVP is indefinitely out thanks to a supposed RKO injury. I don't know. I think MVP's faking. I think he's faking over there. I don't know. I think he's scared. He didn't want to face Roman face-to-face, but it's all right. Solid episode of Raw. I think it was the best Raw of the year. And anytime you have Roman Reigns on the show, it's going to be great.
And the rating on that 1.79 million.
Not terrible.
Not terrible. Trying to crawl back into that 2 million range.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last couple of weeks they've probably been like 1.4, 1.5 maybe. So
I think it was 1.6 the week before, if I'm not mistaken.
You think so? All right. Well, they're getting there, and don't forget Monday Night Football is going on, and there's some other factors involved there, but it is what it is. It's not anything that they haven't dealt with before.
No, I think they'll definitely looking to get back on track here, especially with the draft coming up. Make some necessary arrangements and changes. So let's see what we got here for NXT. I gotta say, second weekend, I'm not hating the new NXT. Or should I say NXT 2.0?
Did they go with a lot of 2.0 stuff?
They're really sticking to that 2.0. I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not.
Next week, we're going to be calling it BTR 8.0. So we'll see.
That's fair.
It seems like they're sticking by the NXT 2.0 gimmick. We got Wale. I've been listening to that song all week.
Wow.
That's right. I've been jamming out to it.
That's your new bop?
Yeah, it's a bop. You got a plug on the show.
There you go.
So it's a hit. We got a new intro and everything. Did you have the ratings for this week?
I did not. I didn't come across it. I only had it for Raw and for Rampage. I didn't get NXT. I can look it up during the break and see what we find, but the moment
I
I
have
didn't come
ratings
across.
from previous week. Oh, actually, here. I do have the ratings.
Do you? Okay.
I lied. This is from last week, so I apologize.
It's probably still a little too early. I mean, the show was just yesterday, so I don't know. Maybe it'll kind of come out after the show, I'm sure.
Well,
no one our luck.
According to Forbes here, their key competition was Bachelor in Paradise. So that's heavy competition.
There you go.
Yeah, everybody loves Bachelor in Paradise.
That's sign me up. If it wasn't for wrestling, I'd be watching too.
Absolutely. Apparently, the most viewed last week, according to Forbes, was the Mandy Rose unveiling her new look. Mandy Rose is a draw, the hottest women's division in pro wrestling.
Almost didn't recognize it.
Yeah, so Mandy Rose is a hit. The least viewed was the Tony D'Angelo segment, the new debuting superstar from Chicago, who apparently has a pretty stereotypical story kind of background. So he had another one this week. So he'll be having his big debut very soon. But yeah, so there's a little bit of news there for their online stuff. The show kicked off with Tommaso Ciampa coming out in a sea of NXT 2.0 talent. Not just one, but you have multiple NXT superstars, 2.0 superstars that we've seen last week, and a couple of new ones, and basically came out, gave a huge speech talking about how great it is, playing the veteran role, basically saying how happy he is to win the NXT championship again.
Goldie.
Yeah, so he played that role very well. Let's see. Braun Breaker got to speak a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was trending on Twitter because he reminded everybody of Scott Steiner.
He sounds like Scott Steiner. He said a couple of words I can't say here. Apparently, they're looking for an edgier type program. So, I mean, yeah, we're going to have Braun Breaker say some edgy stuff. Yeah, sounds like him. We got to see your favorite Cameron Grimes show up. I don't know why, but he showed up. But you know who else showed up? Say it with me, James. L.A. Knight. Come on. Give it to me one time.
Didn't even see him on the highlights. He was irrelevant.
Come on. He was there. No, come on.
I'm not saying he wasn't there. I'm just saying he's not getting a good rating.
Pete Dunne also showed up with Ridge Holland. And a huge brawl ensued between NXT and NXT 2.0 talent. I don't know if we want to separate them or not. At this point, it looks like clearly it's divided just because you see a whole bunch of new talent. But it was
a little too overwhelming with all the debuts and
a little bit, but it was, you know, I get it. I mean, I'm not hating it. As long as they're able to create some interesting talent, interesting gimmicks, hopefully eventually have some good matches. There were a lot of short matches I noticed, but that's okay. I mean, again, new superstars, you're probably going to have a few squash matches before you get into the heavy matches like we saw between Roderick Strong and Kushida, which we'll talk about, which actually we'll talk about it now. The Cruiserweight Championship was defended between the NXT Cruiserweight Champion Kushida taking on Roderick Strong of Diamond Mine. Let's talk about Diamond Mine, the most dangerous group in all of professional wrestling that isn't on Friday Night SmackDown, of course. We've got the Creed brothers. We've got Ivy Nile. We've got Hachiman. We've got Malcolm Bivens managing them. Of course, we got the star of the show, Ravishing Roderick Strong. And he picked up that Cruiserweight Championship. He did it with no help at all. No one.
Oh Lord, look at you lie.
What do you mean, sir?
He lied. I was there. So.
I didn't see anything.
He's a cheat. Malcolm Bivens got involved in the match. Ref didn't see it. Then they throw him out. And then they got old girl attacking him. He's down bad.
Well, Kushida should pay attention more to his surroundings. I don't know what to tell you. I think Ivy was just going for a stretch or a jump. I don't know. They look like they worked out. I don't know what's going on.
Excuses.
Have you seen how big they are? They're pretty big. So, yes, Rob, Roderick is a cruiserweight technically. Nothing wrong with that. He's now a Triple Crown champion as well in NXT. Wow. Just missing that NXT championship over there to make him the Grand Slam champion there. But he's going to carry that cruiserweight championship, I think, for a little while. He looks great with it. Great to see a former member of the Undisputed Era with some gold, kind of the centerpiece there. So let's see what else. He was interrupted. He was interrupted shortly after by Grayson Waller, who had been teaming with Drake Maverick over the last couple of weeks. However, Drake Maverick kind of getting destroyed by Rich Holland last week, so he was a no-show this week.
Selling the injury. Okay.
Well, he was technically on Raw, chasing after the 24/7 or the master plan behind the 24/7 championship, which didn't work. But Grayson Waller challenged up to a match, and next week we're getting Grayson Waller versus Roger Strong for the Cruiserweight Championship. So, new up-and-coming talent coming after some gold. Roderick's not going to let that happen, though.
The most successful of the whole Undisputed Era group, right? He's the one doing the biggest things.
As of now, I can't argue with you. He's become the centerpiece of a new group, a dominant group in Diamond Mine. They're very much featuring them every single week. So, hard to argue that. So, I don't know. Good for Roddy, though. Next up, we had Kaylee Ray take on the debuting Amari Miller. Again, this was kind of one of the squash matches here. Kaylee Ray ended up hitting the victory, or getting the victory here. Let's see. Got to see new talent, but nothing there. Let's see. We also got to see another debuting talent, Dante Chen, take on Trey Baxter. Dante ended up beating him with some type of like a jawbreaker type maneuver in a really short match. So I believe he was the first superstar from Singapore, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably the first from somewhere, yeah.
Somewhere around there. So Trey Baxter ended up getting consoled by Cora Jade, who's been on NXT TV in the past. So it looks like he might be going under a potential superhero gimmick because she called him a superhero. Yeah. So, and then he kind of like smirked after she left and gave him a kiss. So
you're gonna dress him up like a clown.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
Do we ever know what they're gonna do? No,
we'll find out though. It looks like they're gonna do something with them. So
that's right.
He's a good competitor, but we'll see. We got Joe Gacy, who we've seen before. Joe Gacy is a very prolific superstar, to say the least. He's talking about equality, wanting unity, talking about not wanting to use his male privilege around. So respect to him. I gotta say respect to him. James, I hope you don't use your male privilege, okay?
Never.
Be like Joe Gacy. He was rudely interrupted, mind you, by Cameron Grimes, which had a match. I don't know what's wrong with Cameron Grimes' problem is.
Cameron Grimes is doing his own thing. He's living his best life. He's only, 23 years old? Let the man live.
Yeah. Anyways, pretty quick match again. It wasn't a very long one. Grimes stole the victory there with the cave-in. And then after the match, Joe Gacy tried to shake his hand, and Cameron Grimes didn't want to shake it.
Oh.
So I don't know what his problem is. I don't know what's going on. Learn to respect, okay, Cameron Grimes.
When he deserves it, he'll get the handshake, but it ain't gonna happen soon. He needs to earn it. Good things are earned, not given.
You would have thought LA Knight would have showed him, something when he was his butler, but no.
Boo.
Anyways, when we return, we'll finish talking about James's favorite new superstar in NXT, as well as everything else going on in the world of pro wrestling.
Yes. Owen Hart getting involved with AEW, that Owen Hart Foundation. Kind of interesting news there. We may talk about that some.
Yeah, all that and more right here on episode 161 of Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22sradio.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 161 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR, Pro Wrestling Talk. This is our season 7 finale. And next week, again, big news. We're talking season 8 premiere. We're talking a mock or prediction draft. We're talking, what else? Extreme Rules results. And anything else. I might have a little something for you guys next week as well. But anyways, you can find me on Twitter at EthanAmi95. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter.
And you can follow Rob at
Flores Media. And don't forget the R-Truth DMs for Ethan.
R-Truth once again failed to capture that 24/7 championship. At this point, he should just give up. I don't know. But you know who shouldn't give up?
Who?
I don't know. But, moving on in NXT, Elektra Lopez. She shouldn't give up because she's pretty good on the mic at least. Elektra Lopez, the newest addition to Legado del Fantasma.
Oh yeah, she had a match with old girl, right?
No, with Anna Shear.
Yeah, old girl.
Not
she's with Swerve or no?
No, not.
Oh no, are they gonna fight after?
Not B-Fab. No.
Yeah, that's right. B-Fab.
Come on now.
Is it B-Fab or D-Fab?
Brianna is her name, technically, but it's B-Fab.
I'm going to call her Brianna then.
I think Brianna Brandy is her name, if I'm not mistaken. But no, the B-Fab is her name there. Elektra Lopez had her debut as she defeated Anna Shear. Again, another squash match there. They quickly cut a promo. She called herself the first lady of Legado del Fantasma. And
she's the only lady of Legado del Fantasma.
I mean, we don't know. There could be more women added to the group. I don't know.
More women?
Why not?
I mean, they need to do something. Who's the women's champion?
They got Raquel Gonzalez. And speaking of Raquel Gonzalez, it was announced next week she will defend her NXT championship against Frankie Monet. We're finally going to get that match.
Okay.
It was scheduled for last week, ended up getting pushed. Yeah, it's weird because some of these pre-NXT 2.0 people just kind of fell to the background a little bit.
I think it's understandable, though, when you consider, they're kind of getting some new people in the mix, getting some new people involved, kind of reestablishing their roster and getting some. Yeah, you got to give Braun some time, Mr. Braun Breaker.
Giving him plenty of time, I think. I think it's pretty clear they're giving him a lot of time.
Hey, he's the logo. He matches the logo. He's getting all the time.
I noticed. Look at the colorful logo here.
He can cut a promo. Hey, I was up this morning watching Scott Steiner promos, laughing like crazy.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Time on your hands, sir.
I sure did. No, I was scared because Scott Steiner was trending. I had just got done with a radio interview talking about UCLA football and, minding my own business. And I see Scott Steiner's trending. I'm like, oh, no, is this it? Because Scott Steiner had a heart attack or something not that long ago, participating in some wrestling event or whatever. I think it's been about a year now. Anyways, I'm clicking on this trending thing and tell me why I also saw an article or something from a website. I think it was nodq.com. I think Jerry Lawler and Scott Steiner had a match over the weekend.
I wouldn't put it past anyone.
Both of them had heart issues, and part of me almost.
Jerry Lawler's been wrestling forever. He hasn't stopped even after his near death.
I was gonna tweet. I feel like I shouldn't say here, but I am. I thought they were gonna have a heart on the pole match.
Sir, and yes, Jerry and Enzo did have a match as well.
Oh my God, did they really?
They did. I think it was like 2 weeks.
Is Jerry off the TV? Is he still just doing pre-shows?
He does pre-shows, yeah. That's basically what he does now.
I guess a Booker T can do his own show, his own radio show, do his own wrestling show, and then just pop in for the pre-shows. I guess Jerry Lawler can do whatever he wants to then, huh?
Pretty much.
That's right.
Let's talk about perhaps my favorite new 2.0 star.
Okay.
Want to know who it is?
Don't say LA Knight or...
No, I said 2.0 star. LA Knight's technically still 1.0. That's fine.
Okay. Who is it?
Did you watch some NXT or did you watch clips or are you
aware? I watched clips. There's a lot of new faces though. Was he jumbled in with a lot of what they had at the beginning of that show?
He was not in the middle of the ring now at the beginning, no.
Okay, who is it?
He had his own little segment. It wasn't in a ring. I don't know if you saw it. He goes by the name of Andrew Chase. He was in the wedding last week. By the way, next week we're gonna get the honeymoon of Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis.
Yeah. Did they give him the week off, or what was the deal there?
I guess. Yeah, the Way was not here this week, but next week we're gonna get the honeymoon. And Wade Barrett said he was glad that Dexter Lumis learned some oral skills.
Jesus.
And you should have seen their faces because both Vic and Beth were like, what? And then like a few seconds later, I think Wade got it. He kind of made a face too. Like, oh.
Oh my God. Oh,
great.
Speaking of which, not to jump too far off topic, but definitely jumping off topic a little bit. Did you watch Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae? I think they did a baby announcement.
No, but I saw the photo. Congratulations to the Ways joining Gargano and Candice LeRae. They'll be having a baby boy, looks like. Yeah. She was covered in that blue powder.
Yeah.
I didn't see the video. I'll have to go back and watch it, but saw the photo and so congrats.
Definitely go watch it. It was pretty funny. Johnny was being Johnny, and the dog got involved. Actually, the dog was pretty cute at the end. I think it's worth watching just for the dog alone.
Padme, that's her name.
There you go. Padme was a star for me in that video.
There you go. So congrats to the Way. That's a little Way update. They weren't on TV this week, but they did take over the main event last week, so understandable. But yes, let's get back to Andrew Chase. He was a part of that wedding last week where they mentioned, I think they mentioned the word Chase, and he stood up and he's like, did somebody mention Andrew Chase? Was it Andrew or Andre? Andre Chase. There you go.
You don't even know your own favorite wrestler's name?
Look, he's brand new. Anyways.
It's okay. I spent half the commercial break trying to figure out if it was Braun Breaker.
That's right. He's got 2 K's, his last name, too. But anyways, Andre Chase was teaching at Chase University.
Okay.
And basically, he was showing his students Odyssey Jones, an Odyssey Jones match, where he lost the breakout tournament several weeks ago.
Yeah.
And, because he got rolled up and everything, and kind of a teachable moment. And then we had a very arrogant student named Steve interrupt him and say, didn't he beat you in the first round of the tournament? And then Andre Chase proceeds to yell at him and then curse at him. And we get to hear the beeps. It's pretty funny segment. Watch the segment, I think.
Yeah.
I'll send you the segment, but I thought it was pretty funny. And I mentioned him because obviously it aired, but then we also got to see an Odyssey Jones match, a 2-on-1 handicap match.
I did catch the very ending of that. I saw the finish.
He had some fun with two, I guess, local competitors, enhancement talents, and that's when Andre Chase did come out toward the end or after the match, I think.
Okay, I think I do remember seeing a face there. Maybe.
Yeah, so that was him. He's wearing a Chase U sweater, so gotta get it.
Yeah, I did see that.
See?
Briefly, and I was like, "What is that?" It looked like the University of Utah or something.
Chase University. So
it was weird. It kind of threw me off. I'm glad you mentioned it because I needed answers on that.
Yeah, so looks like we'll be getting that feud between some new talent there. We get to see Toxic Attraction.
That's right. They were trending on Twitter.
Oh, my goodness. Best women's division on the planet. Now you had Toxic Attraction. Oh, Lord.
Are you being sarcastic, sir?
No. I'm into it. I'm very into it. Mandy Rose, fantastic. JC Jane, fantastic. Gigi Dolan, fantastic.
Have you heard of these other two before?
So I believe Gigi Dolan was Priscilla Kelly on the independent scene.
Okay.
She was, I don't know if she still is. She was at one point dating. What's his name? I'm forgetting his name.
Jay Lethal, I don't know.
No. I am completely blanking on his name. Jeez, I need to watch more AEW.
Oh boy, Ricky Starks?
No. Skateboarder.
Darby Allin?
Darby Allin. Oh my goodness. Been a while since I watched AEW. But yeah, I don't know if they're still together. They probably are. I haven't heard anything, but she was at one point dating him. So, but yeah, she had a bit of buzz on the independent circuit. So I know her. I haven't heard JC Jane before. They showed up here, but they're quickly pushing them. Next week we're gonna get NXT Women's Tag Team Title match. JC Jane and Gigi Dolan taking on Io Shirai and Zoe Starks for that the championship. Io kind of backstage replied saying she accepts. Zoe Stark very hesitant, but going along with it. They still haven't matched together as a tag team, but
I don't know if they have done promos like this or scenes, or I don't think it's a vignette, but they did one where Zoe Stark was trying to kind of meet her partner there in the middle, and they were at
they were at a restaurant, and
they were at the restaurant.
Yeah, they did that one week. Yeah,
did they follow up with any other sort of scenes or anything like
Not
that?
really. It's just been kind of backstage stuff. I know they came out last week in the wedding together, but then again, so did everyone else. So they were just there. They haven't really done too much with them. I know they defended the tag titles maybe 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, they've had appearances. They just haven't done a whole lot of like that kind of stuff since then.
Gotcha. I thought the restaurant scene was great.
It was funny, a funny segment for sure. So we'll be getting a Cruiserweight title match and the NXT Women's Tag Team title match next week. Should be good. Very much into the promo, that Toxic Attraction. They allowed everyone to talk for a couple minutes. So very into this group. Looking forward to seeing what they do. Do they win the tag titles?
No, I'd say not, because it's still kind of early for the current champs. But I mean, if you're gonna push them, or I mean, it's possible. I don't think so though.
Probably not.
Actually, I wouldn't be completely shocked, only because you're starting to, if you're really pushing people and you're doing a new movement here, you're kind of bound for a quick title change that you weren't really expecting, just to kind of elevate somebody early into that status, because you can't have everyone kind of debuting and all moving up at the same time at the same level. I mean, I think you got to kind of spread it out and level them out. I wouldn't be surprised if they do win the championship. here soon.
About the NXT Women's Championship.
With Raquel and Monet.
Yeah.
Just on a regular NXT?
It's on a regular episode of NXT. I don't know if we're getting any more takeovers.
What?
It hasn't been announced. I mean, this is a new NXT again, so I don't know what they're going to do with. They're just going to have big shows on regular television like they used to, or
no, that's a good point. I think it's. I mean, you're not probably gonna get both title changes. I mean, Monet's kind of been there for a while, and I think she's kind of got the best of most of her opponents. Wouldn't be completely surprised. I'll say maybe not this week. Maybe there's some shenanigans there. I do want to mention a few other things. Is there anything else left on this card that we're on this show that we need to get to?
Let me see really quick.
I think we need to get to
the main event. Ciampa and Baker defeated Rich Holland and Pete Dunne, and your guy beat Rich Holland, who hasn't really been pinned, I don't think at all. He beat him with that powerhouse slam, that pump handle.
Yeah,
powerhouse slam. So
yeah, and then he got his recliner submission. They're calling it the Spider recliner. That was in there. That got a big pop from the crowd. Braun Breaker, kind of hesitant, there with the belt a little exchange there and some friendly words between him and Ciampa. Seems like, Breaker is going to be in that mix. Does he become the champion at the end of the year? Yes or no, real quick?
Probably.
Probably. Wouldn't be surprised. Did want to mention a few other things. Triple H did tweet thanking folks for his the support and everything that he's had following his episode, hard episode and whatnot. Also want to mention Owen Hart, the Owen Hart Foundation, teaming up with AEW, more or less exclusive rights or something. They're going to name a tournament after Owen Hart Memorial Tournament, something along those lines. Probably some Owen Hart merch and some things like that. Pretty interesting that they did that. I think AEW, it seems like every week they're kind of coming out with some big news, big update. I think we're going to see Owen Hart in a video game, possibly in that new video game that comes out. We're running short on time here. Rob mentioned the Ric Flair, Tommy Dreamer thing. That was a Dark Side of the Ring episode, I think, involving the plane ride from hell.
You haven't seen it, right, though?
I haven't seen it.
Watch
so
it.
Everyone, go watch it.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll probably still be relevant. Both superstars did comment on the incident via Twitter, good or bad, but you haven't seen it yet, so go watch the episode. It is on YouTube, the full episode, so go watch that. And then next week, I'm sure we'll at least mention it. But next week, let's give them a preview of next week as we're wrapping this up, the season 7 finale, which has been going on for the last year and a half because, of course, of pandemic. We started out the season in a studio, went online for a bit, went off air for a bit due to some personal stuff. Injury report here for Rob, but he, came back. We're all good. Have been doing this for the better part, again, of a year and a half. I don't know if we're going back in the studio soon or not, but we've been doing this, and I thought it's time to freshen things up a little bit. Next week we'll be getting a new logo and everything.
Wow!
I got it already done. Got it done a little while ago.
Okay.
But I'm also giving you guys an ultimatum. By the end of next week's episode, I want both of you to acknowledge Roman Reigns.
Or what?
Or I leave Beyond the Ropes.
Are you trying to future endeavor me? Is this what's happening? Is this your cliffhanger for the end of the show, for the end of the season?
Both of you, I want to hear both of you say, I acknowledge Roman Reigns next week.
Rob is the producer.
And if it doesn't happen, I don't want you guys to say, Roman Reigns, I acknowledge Roman Reigns, and then say something, ridiculous after. I just want, I acknowledge Roman Reigns by the end of next week's episode, or else I quit Beyond the Ropes.
Okay.
Until next time.
Okay.
Until next time. This has been episode 161 of Beyond the Ropes. This has been season 7 of Beyond the Ropes. and it's been absolutely too sweet.
Has it though? Has it really? I don't know.